Welcome to Think and Be Well's Thoughtful Thursdays. I'm Raisa Nazaire, and I'm here to bring you paradigm shifting thoughts that help you to move the kaleidoscope of your perspective so that you can see life through a lens of growth and empowerment. Each Thursday, we pick a topic to discuss. And that's our Hold That Thought. It's something that we want to attune to and to look at deeply. We take a nugget of wisdom that is really so simple and dive deeper into it so that we can see the profoundness of the thought. And this week's thought is surviving is reacting to life. Thriving is creating it through clear alignment of your goals and your values. Now, this single sentence invites us to just pause and consider the deeper meaning because how much of our daily life is spent reacting to what happens versus intentionally creating what it is that we want. And the key to that intentional creation is alignment itself, because alignment is what's going to help us move out of survival mode into a state of thriving. It's about ensuring that our inner world, our values, our beliefs, and our desires all match our outer actions and thus the decisions that we're making. And I want to explore this a little deeper. But before we do that, let's take a moment to reflect. Reflect on what does thriving mean for you personally? And what would it feel like to live a life that's fully aligned with your values and your goals? Hold that thought for a moment. And then let's explore how we can create that life that we can be in the state of thrival versus survival. Because before we actually get to thriving, we have to recognize that there's always a spectrum of things going on. And while we're surviving, we can still be thriving. One doesn't discount the other. And we're not just surviving challenges, the challenges that we face in our life, but we're thriving and flourishing in the midst of them. And it's an integration, it's finding balance in the in between. And in balance, the key word is always integration. So thrival is a word that was created to show the state of being able to survive while at the same time being aligned and in focus of the possibility that lies before us and focusing in on the light versus what's in the shadows. So survive is just when we're reacting to external circumstances and we're in a do loop. We're feeling stuck in the cycles of life and we are feeling stress. And then we begin to operate without a clear purpose or rather a sense of purpose. So, as you reflect, are you living each day simply trying to get through it, or are you actively shaping a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling? If you're in survival mode, then that means you're just living to get through the day. But our goal, again, is when things get really challenging to be in thrival versus survival, where we know we have to go through those necessary steps to move past whatever the challenge may be. And and by going from survival to thrival, we begin to thrive. And thrive is where we're proactively creating our life path based on our thoughts and our decisions and living life with purpose and have clear focus on our goals of where we're going, and we are in setting our intentions for balanced living. And therefore, our daily actions are aligned with our core values, whatever they may be for you as an individual. And that will help you and take you to your long-term goals. So we want to contrast the two states. The key difference is this, that surviving is reactive while thriving is proactive. Surviving is about enduring, and thriving is about flourishing. As you can see from the image here, thriving is about flourishing in life. And you may have a job, for example, where you're just surviving. It might look like working that job that you don't like just to pay the bills. But then thriving could mean that you are pursuing a career that aligns with your passions and your values, even if it requires more effort to get there. Thriving is asking us to take that leap of faith as well. And so, again, where are you in your life? Are you simply surviving, or are you thriving? And there may be areas of your life where you're in survival mode, and then other areas of your life where you're in thrive mode. One does not exclude the other in totality. So the bridge between thriving and surviving, as mentioned, is alignment. And when your values and your goals and your actions are in harmony, you're naturally shifting from a state of reacting to a state of creating. Alignment is all about thriving. So it helps us to bridge the gap between where we currently are, even though we may not like how it's showing up in the present moment, and then it gets us to where we want to be. Alignment takes us within so that we can examine the true power that we have, because true power comes from within. It is not dependent on external forces. And so it aligns our inner values and our desires with what it is that we need to do to move forward. So it harmonizes our inner values with our outward actions. And then we take that energy that comes out of that harmony and directs it towards meaningful goals. So we are not afraid to take that next step that will bridge us from what it is that we don't want to what it is that we do. Alignment is the thing that takes us there. And true purpose and focus. So this is an alignment audit. So you can thrive, whether it's at work or any aspect of your life, with purpose and clarity. So the first question to ask yourself is, what brought me the most joy and fulfillment today? Reflect back on your day to the moments that actually made you feel energized and uplifted and connected to purpose. And then look at what felt challenging or draining, what actually made you feel depleted. What was the person, place, or thing that was going on when you started to feel depleted? So first step is to do that for joy and fulfillment, and then do it again for what's challenging and draining, and pinpoint those situations. And the third question to ask yourself is, how did I use my strength today? So think about your skills, your talents, and the qualities that you brought forth, either to work or to your day, and see how you were able to use them in order to take you from a state of survive, because oftentimes the initial thought comes from the past. It comes from a thought of survival, and we have to actively shift that into one that reflects thriving and flourishing in life. So, how did you use your strength? How did you use your confidence, your perseverance, your personal powers that you were gifted with? And then, very important also is how did I and where did I take the time to connect with others meaningfully? Fully. So, yes, not just interact with others, but to actually connect with others and honor the bond that we all have. Did I take time to nurture another? So consider the interactions of the day and how they align with how you want to express yourself and how you want to show up each day. And the fifth step is really to just reflect on all of that and think about, well, what is one small improvement that I would make if I had to do this all again? And how would I do it differently tomorrow? So identify the actionable step, and that will enhance your days moving forward. So the key is that alignment that helps us to keep the focus on how it is that we want to be and express ourselves in the world and show up at work, at home, wherever we may be. So the point is, overall, that thriving is not a luxury. It's a choice that we all have to make at any time, no matter what is showing up in the external world. We can be going through challenges and thriving at the same time because when we tap into alignment to what it is that we really want, who we truly are, and how we want to express ourselves into the world, then we move forward and tap into the energy of thriving. Thriving isn't about doing more. It's about doing what aligns with who you are and what you truly want. We want to create, not to just react. And even in those situations where reaction is our first response, we can always shift that into a state of response that will move us from survive to thrive. If you want more on everyday emotional vocabulary, you can get my book, Everyday Emotional Vocabulary, that shifts the kaleidoscope of your perspective. You'll find the link in the caption. And if you like what you hear, be sure to like, share, and follow. Let's get those algorithms going so that more people can be exposed to this information. And thank you for joining me today. And if you want more, you can check me out online at raisatheauthor.com. You can look at my services that are offered, which include books that I've written, online courses, journals I've put together, speaking, public speaking, and I'm open for speaking engagements and also for coaching one-on-one. Thank you for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you next week for Thoughtful Thursdays at 3 here on YouTube.